They said I would never amount to anything. They were almost right. When I stepped onto that international stage, the spotlight hit my face, but I wasn't thinking of the applause. I was thinking of a small, forgotten village where a boy once sat sketching homes in the sand, too poor to own a pencil. That boy was me, Elijah Afolayan. And this is how I got here. I was 14 the first time I failed. Not just any failure, the kind that leaves your name on the lips of villagers for the wrong reasons. I failed WAEC. The laughter from my classmates still rings in my ears. "Architect, you can't even pass English," they said. My father's silence was louder than the mockery. He just stared at the paper, folded it once, and walked away. But my mother, she knelt beside me that night, her hands rough from farming, and whispered, "Fall 10 times, get up 11. I believed her. So I got up. I went to the city with dreams in my pocket and nothing else. I was too proud to beg, too scared to steal. So I worked. I laid bricks under the sun. I washed glasses in roadside bars. I shouted bus stops as a Danfo conductor. Every night, I sketched homes on scraps of cement bags. I believed that somehow, someday, someone would see. I saved enough to register WAEC again. And I failed. Again. I cried. Alone. Quietly. Then I got angry. Angry enough to apply to 5 polytechnics. Not one replied. For the first time, I almost gave up. But God sent Mr. Bassi, a retired architect who saw my sketches while I was drawing outside a construction site. He didn't laugh. He nodded slowly and said, "Your hands speak." He gave me books, lessons, hope. Under his mentorship, I breathed architecture. Finally, I got into a private university through a small scholarship he helped me secure. I was the poorest student on campus, but I walked like I belonged. I thought the curse was broken. Then Mr. Bassi died. Stroke. Just like that, the money stopped. I dropped out with tears in my eyes and rage in my chest. I told myself I wouldn't beg again. So I built. I started a one-man business. I designed makeshift stalls, kiosks, sheds, anything for anyone who'd pay. One woman, Mama Eve, loved the shed I built her so much, she called the local newspaper. "Local boy builds magic shop," the headline read. I smiled for the first time in months. Then it all collapsed. Literally. A jealous competitor accused me of causing a collapsed foundation. I hadn't even worked on it. But in Nigeria, when you're poor, truth is expensive. I went to jail. 6 months. 6 long, rotten months. I came out to nothing. No friends, no tools, no roof. I slept in an uncompleted building I once dreamed of finishing. I wrote a letter to myself, a goodbye note. Not to die, but to quit. To forget the dream. That was my lowest point. Until I read that letter again, weeks later, and I laughed. The kind of laugh that scares pain away. I stood up. I picked up a stick and drew floor plans on the ground again. I had nothing to lose. One day, an NGO worker from Kenya stumbled on my old shed designs posted online by a journalist. They reached out. They needed eco-homes for rural clinics. They flew me to Nairobi. My first time in a plane. My first real paycheck. In dollars. That project opened doors. Ghana, Uganda, Rwanda, then Europe, then America. I became the voice for sustainable African architecture. The boy who once failed WAEC 3 times now lectured at global conferences. I built homes, schools, dreams. But I kept the letter. That resignation letter. I framed it. It sits on the wall of my Lagos office. People see my suits now, my briefcase, my TED Talks, my titles. But I see scars. Each failure was a teacher. Each disappointment, a stone. I built my life with them. You are not finished because you failed. You're only finished when you stop trying. Success isn't built on brilliance. It's built on bruises you refuse to let bleed you out. So I ask you, before you give up, write a letter. Then live in a way that makes you want to laugh at it later. My name is Elijah Afolayan, and I am still becoming.